George St. Pierre. I think some of you heard George St. Pierre pulled his groin in the third round, so the doctor's looking at him right now. And look at some other guys in there. There he is. That was quick. Okay, and Henderson will be here in a minute too. So UFC 100 was a huge success. Sellout, 5.1 million at the gate, 11,000 in attendance. The expo was craziness, tons and tons of people over the last 2 days. I'll give you guys the who won the fight of the night. Fight of the night was Belcher and Akiyama. Dan Henderson was knockout of the night, and Tom Waller was submission of the night. Those guys all won $100,000 each for winning. Let's get right into this thing. Let's get some questions going. Who's first?
Well, I was supposed to ask Dan about this too, but this card went out to your largest international audience ever, and you've been slowly breaking down barriers and selling this sport by selling it as an athletic competition contested by true sportsmen. Given that, do you have any concerns about what Dan did and said, and about what Brock did and said after the fight?
About what Dan said?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, Dan, I talked to Dan after the fight, and what did Dan say?
He said I gave another one to shut him up.
Yeah.
Right, the one that when Bisping was down out cold.
He said, he said he was joking. He said he was joking, you know. I didn't think it was funny either, but he was joking. You know, Dan Henderson's a good guy. These guys are all good guys. Brock's a good guy too. And, you know, I think you guys have all asked me, you know, Brock, what's up with Brock? Brock's a grouch. He's a very grouchy guy, especially the week of the fight. It's a fact. And I'm not right now. I'm happy. But he's a good guy, and he loves Bud Light. I'm even going to give you some horses.
Dana, can you talk a little bit about the new strategy of the UFC into, you know, giving those fights thank you for the American-Mexican public, because we get to see the fight for free.
Yep.
People didn't come over here. But what's all this about? You know, 100 for free?
Yeah, well, here's the thing, you know, and I'm a big believer in having free fights on television. I grew up a big boxing fan because I used to see all the, you know, the big fights on ABC's Wide World of Sports and USA's Tuesday night fights. And what happened with the boxing model is when the pay model came out, everybody got greedy, and you never saw any good fights on free TV anymore. And we do the exact opposite. We put on 12 or 13 pay-per-views a year that our fans pay for. And I believe that, you know, while you put on these pay-per-views, the fans buy them, you need to give back to them too. So we take big fights, good fights, and put them on free TV. Mexico, we're just trying to introduce all the Mexican fans to the UFC, and that's how it starts. It starts on free TV. Thank you.
Question for Brock. Brock, in a lot of fights in the UFC, over on the right-hand side, in a lot of fights in the UFC, after people have been talking trash back and forth after the fight, they sort of, you know, make up and, you know, hug each other. Obviously, you didn't feel that way about Frank Mir. Is there something distinctive about Mir that made you act the way you did after the fight, or is it just sort of your philosophy in general towards fighters who talk trash?
Well, first and foremost, I want to apologize. I acted very unprofessionally after the fight, and I'll leave it at that. I'm a sore loser, okay? And I don't like to get beat. I believe that Frank and I, his first bout, I gave that fight to him. And so there was a lot of emotion in this fight for me. I love this company. I want to be a fighter. I've wanted to be a fighter since I was a little kid, okay? You guys want to get to know me a little bit right now. I've been a fighter my whole life. Wrestling was my way out. I wasn't the smartest kid on the block. I didn't like school. I like to get in one-on-one with my opponent, and that's where I handled my business. I went in the entertainment business for a while, and I guess there's a little bit of it still at it. You guys ask me all the time, is there anything that I could drag over from WWE? And I guess you've seen a little bit tonight. I apologize to Bud Light. I'm not biased, I drink any beer. Tonight I'm drinking Bud Light all night. Yeah! All right? So, no, you know, man, I was so jacked up. I'm used to selling pay-per-view tickets, okay? I come from a business that is purely entertainment, and the guy that, my coach and the guy that, he's the best in the business that you know, but now I'm just trying to do my job. And Dana came back and, you know, we had a, you know, whip the dog session, and I screwed up and I apologize. But I have nothing against Frank. No, like I said, the only thing that I had against Frank was that he beat me. All right, we both talked a lot of crap, and in the end, I was just amped up.
This is for Dana and for George. After this performance, what's next for George? I mean, it's, you know, I look at the next match, we always know, like after a fight, we have 3 or 4 options for next match, and I don't know that there's the obvious option right now.
Right. I haven't had time to think about that, obviously. You know, this has been a very overwhelming week for me. This week kicked my ass. And George St. Pierre, I said it before the fight, if he gets through this one, he's in the running for pound best fighter in the world. And he walked through Tiago. He came in with an awesome game plan. He even dropped him in the fight. And then you find out he tore his groin in, what was it, the 3rd round? The end of the 3rd round. And still comes out. You couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. Still taking him down, still doing everything he needed to do. George St. Pierre is an amazing human being, an amazing fighter, an amazing athlete. I couldn't say enough good things about him. But to answer your question, I have no clue who will fight next.
George, do you have any thoughts as far as, well, first, you checked on the injury and anything more than you or anything?
It's pretty bad. I'm in real bad pain. It happened in the 3rd round, and I think at one, I don't remember exactly, but I think when I was on the bottom in my guard at the 3rd round, see, I go push my knee down, and I hear my growing, my abductor snap, and I hear the noise like, and it was pretty bad. So I was like thinking, I was like, oh my God, the fight is not even over, and I'm on the bottom, you know. So I couldn't do much from there. Normally I would have tried armbar and stuff like that. So I ended up scrambling, getting up, and winning the fight. But right now I mean, it's pulled. I don't know how long it's gonna take. Maybe a couple of weeks. It's not the first time that it happened. What happened too is my fight was supposed to be the 4th on the card, and they called us a little bit at the last minute because of the pay-per-view. So we got called, and I didn't have really much time to warm up as well as I should have done. And well, it's my mistake too. You know, I'm a professional. I'm world champion. I should have been ready and for something like that. I was not informed that I was jumping in before that I was supposed to. So that's probably why this thing happened too.
Do you have any thoughts as far as the next opponent? I mean, what do you like? Where do you want to?
I want to fight. I want to face the best guy, you know. And right now I don't know. I'm really bad pain, you know. And I'm gonna step back, take a look at it, and we'll talk about it in maybe a couple of weeks. We'll see.